down. Dr. Robert R. Cargill, a professor at the University of Iowa, states in the article by the University of Iowa in 22 that Moses was sent in a basket down the Nile River to save his life. Greetings, I'm Kayla Birchfield, and I would like to introduce Moses. There is a lot to know to Moses, but in the next few minutes I would like to share two aspects of his life with you. In looking at Moses, two aspects of his life was following Christ and leading others. Now that we have this speech floating down the river, let's get into that two aspects of Moses' life. Following Christ impacted Moses' life in two ways: having faith and seeking God's will. Moses had faith throughout his life. John M., founder of East West Ministry, states in the article, "How did Moses live by faith?" Although Moses was raised by the Egyptian royal family, his biological mom was a Christian. Just so happened to be the royal family's maid. Since she helped raise Moses, his biological mom was able to share with him the word of God throughout his childhood. Both Moses' biological parents were big followers of Christ. Although they secretly gave him away to spare his life, his mom was able to share the goodness of God as he grew up and did not decide to follow God right away. But at the age of 40, God called Moses to set out to deliver the Israelites from slavery. Moses had faith that God would help him deliver them from slavery. Moses decided to speak God's will. Dr. Brian Anderson, an expert in the library, states in the article about the Bible that Moses was seeking God's will by taking him and spending time with him in prayer. When Moses became a man of faith, he stayed spending a lot of time in prayer. He would pray asking God to lead him in the right way. God wanted Moses' help to destroy Israel as the people had turned against him. However, when Moses asked God not to do so, he did anyways because he knew Moses had already been praying for him not to destroy the city. Now moving forward, let's part the rest of the speech. Leading others was an ability that God gave Moses during his walk of life. He led others by embracing his calling and by staying humble. Therefore, of works stated that Moses tried Christ, but when he was shown what God could really do, he answered the Lord, saying, "Here I am." God took Moses to the place of the burning bush where Moses saw nature and everything around it. He knew he could no longer deny Christ. When Moses was called to lead the Israelites out of slavery, he at first was scared. However, this time he decided to embrace what God was calling for him. Moses was known for being the most humble man in the Bible. Dr. Kevin, a senior pastor at Christian Church in Mackay, North Carolina, states in 2016 Moses was never one to think about himself. Before Moses followed God, he witnessed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew. Instead of allowing this, he stood up for the Hebrew and ended up killing the Egyptian. Putting the Hebrew's needs in front of his own, like Moses guiding God's people, allow me to guide you through the end. In conclusion, we've met Moses, and I'm Kayla Birchfield. There is a lot to Moses, but I have shared two aspects of his life: following Christ and leading others. As I stated before, Dr. Robert R. Cargill, a professor at the University of Iowa, states in an article by the University of Iowa in 22, Moses was sent in a basket down the Nile River to save his life.